This is the plaintiff, Stuart Rubenstein. He says he's known the defendant for 34 years and put him in charge of a trust, which had been set up by his dying sister. When he asked for some money from the trust, the defendant refused access to him. They got into a big fight, and the defendant ended up stealing property from him and stiffing him on dock rental for his boat. He's suing for $4,592, the amount he's owed. This is the defendant, Lance Rottinger. He says he believes the plaintiff forged his sister's signature to set up a fraudulent trust, and that's why he never handed over any checks to him. As far as his accusation of stealing tools, these are things that were given to him over the years, and he's just dragging him here today in an attempt to harass him. He knows it, and so will the judge. He's accused of taking what's not his.
All parties, please raise your right hands.
Welcome back to the People's Court. Next case on the docket. The plaintiff says the defendant was in charge of a trust that he was supposed to collect money from, but the guy stiffed him, and it makes it all the worse because they've known each other for 34 years. But the defendant says the plaintiff is a fraud and forged his name to get it in the first place. It's the case of, in Maryland, Millian, we trust.
Yes.
Rubenstein?
Yes.
You are suing Lance
Rottinger.
For $4,592, $750 of it for dock rental, and the rest of it for items you say he stole from your property. Tell me what's going on.
While I was in a VA hospital being treated for wounds that I got in Vietnam, I had a neighbor over my house watching my cats. And he came over and he took a cement mixer. He took all these things that I have.
I'm sorry, hold on, because the Vietnam War was a very long time ago, so I'm trying to understand what you're saying.
Oh.
You were at the VA hospital doing what?
I was being treated for, I lost a lung in Vietnam, so they treat me for that.
Okay.
You know, so while I was in the hospital, I had a neighbor over.
Thank you for your service.
Thank you.
Okay.
I had a neighbor over. And,
right.
He came over and he took a cement mixer.
Who is he to you?
He's just a friend.
Just a friend? You've known him how long?
34 years.
That's more, I mean, that's a pretty, that's a long time.
It's a long time, yeah.
Okay. And
I put him in a trust. That's
what do you mean you put him in a trust?
For my sister.
He's a trustee?
Yeah, he's not anymore. I took him off.
Okay.
He was a trustee.
So obviously he was a very good friend of yours.
Yeah.
And why was he the trustee for your sister?
Because I didn't have it. My mother's dead, my father's dead, and you know, she had breast cancer and Parkinson's disease, and she was going to lose a condominium and over $100,000. So they said that I could, you know. I
have a question. Is this your sister's money that was put in a trust for her?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And you put somebody, and your sister's how old?
My sister's 67.
Okay. And so you put. That's your little sister. You put, right?
Yeah.
You put him as the trustee.
Yeah, because my son tried to take out $25,000 out of the account. He was a trustee.
Oh, Lord.
So I took him off.
This is when it's good to have a professional trustee, somebody who's an attorney who just serves, that's their only business is to be trustees for different trusts.
Right.
In any event, you make him your trustee, you're good friends, and where did all that go wrong though? Because something obviously went wrong.
It all went wrong when he started talking about me and telling everybody that I was trying to use him to steal my sister's money.
Ah.
And I love my sister.
Okay.
And I was paying all her bills.
Okay.
You know, with my money. So I needed him to get a checkbook.
Right.
And then he started talking about me, so I got mad.
So you asked him to disperse funds from the trust to reimburse you for expenses that you say you incurred on her behalf.
Yeah, just to...
And he refused and felt that you were trying to pilfer the trust.
Right.
All right. Now, so that's where the problem really ends. So you two get into a fight about that?
Yeah.
All right. And then his boat is docked behind your house for how long?
2 years.
All right. Rent-free?
He paid last year.
Oh, he's supposed to pay?
He's supposed to pay, yeah.
Okay, how much, just a second, I'll be with you in a second. And how much is he supposed to pay?
$150 a month.
So he was always supposed to pay $150 a month?
Yeah.
And then this year you just stopped paying?
Yeah.
Why didn't you tell me you got to get the boat out? You're not paying.
I did.
And what did he do?
He took the boat out.
Oh, well, how long did he not pay?
Since April.
Do you have any proof of him paying?
No.
Okay.
No.
And then according to you, you have a friend who saw him steal like $4,000 worth of stuff. Where's your friend right now?
She's in the hospital. She's in
you have an
ICU.
affidavit?
I have a piece of paper.
You can have a piece of paper, but she's the witness, and I kind of sort of need her.
I couldn't get it notarized because she's in the hospital.
What's going on? He says you stole $4,000 worth of stuff from
Your
the
Honor,
dock.
he gave me this stuff over the years. I have statements stating that, that I've been there when I received things from him with the boat,
Statements from whom?
his son, and a friend of mine that was there.
Can I see it? So you actually went to his son and said, your father's suing me?
Yeah.
And the son, who's all too happy because the father accused him of trying to pilfer the sister's trust,
You got it.
gives you an affidavit to use against his father. God, and I think I have problems. What's wrong with me? Okay, you have a statement by a witness, Lane?
Yes.
And who's Lane to you?
I have no idea.
Is that somebody, a friend
It's
of
a
yours?
friend of mine.
Okay. I was a witness at Stuart Rubenstein's house when he gave Lance multiple equipment and yard articles from his home. And then a statement by the plaintiff's own son who says, rather angrily, that he was maliciously removed from the trustee by his father and his father's lawyer, and that signed you on. And I told him, if you go through with this, I'm not going to speak to you again, and that they haven't spoken. That the cement mixer he's talking about in this lawsuit, he's the owner of.
Yes.
And he knows because his father told him that he gave it to you. That the dock box, his father told him that he gave it to you. And that the weed whacker, his father told him that he gave it to you.
Yes.
Okay.
The
Were you
metal-
supposed to pay dock rental?
I did pay it the first year. The second year, he said, I went to adopt, well, he lives with his girlfriend. I went to adopt his girlfriend's dog, and the dog like wrecked my house. So I brought the dog, I had the dog all straightened out, with shots and stuff. I had him neutered and that. And he said, instead of paying him dock space for the year, he goes, you put out money for the dog. He'll
Did you
take the
give
dog.
back the dog?
Yes.
Oh.
Could I?
And
And because the money that you put out, that for 1 year you wouldn't, what are you showing me?
This is the bill from the dog that I put out, the money.
Okay,
No.
yeah.
It's not my girlfriend. It's a friend.
Okay.
I just wanted to.
But what
bring
about
that
the
up.
real, the stuff that I care about that has to do with
All
the
right.
case, right?
All right, but
So did you, because of this whole dog thing, tell him, okay, you covered all that and we're getting the dog back neutered or spayed,
It's all done.
shots and everything else, so you can leave your boat back here?
no, I paid him every penny that he spent on the dog, including the license.
You didn't pay me.
Yes, I did.
Don't talk to
Right.
each other.
So is it a good idea to have the trustee as a friend or say somebody independent like a bank?
Independent,
Why?
because I wouldn't trust my friend with my money.
Fair enough. What do you think?
Definitely independent. I would want a bank.
Why?
Just because it's safer. You know that your money will be in there.
Fair enough. It's just a dispassionate kind of disbursement of money.
Yeah, it's just, you don't trust friends with money.
Fair enough. Going inside the court.
Do you have proof of paying him?
No,
No.
How'd you pay him?
I paid him cash.
Okay. Based on what I have heard today and what I haven't heard,
Right.
I find in favor of the defendant both on the objects that you claim were taken that day, but don't bring me any proof were stolen that day.
Your Honor?
And what? It's not. Yes, isn't good enough for you. You're about to win the whole case, and you want to say
No,
something else?
I just want to say add one thing. Could I please ask you to tell him to stop harassing me? Phone calls, texts. He's calling my friends. Bad mouthing me to everybody he could
Okay.
possibly go to.
First of all, this is a free country, and you guys can have your perspective on this endeavor. I don't issue anti-harassment orders. Go to the right place in your town. If you believe that you have a case, call the police on harassment. As for the dock rental fees that you claim are due, I find that you haven't been able to prove it. And as to the theft that you are claiming, not only do you not prove it, he can specifically disprove it. So I find in favor of the defendant.
Thank you.
I think there's something else going on here which is pretty obvious.
And so right over here, if you would, just tell me, the plaintiff on the losing end of this decision here, step right next to me and right here. Okay, right here, if you would. Tell me, what's your reaction to the verdict as it comes in for
I'm
for him?
surprised
About what?
that I lost.
Well, the proof wasn't there.
Yeah.
You realize that.
Yeah.
How did a friendship and all this trust that was built up over such a long time fall apart like this?
Because of his mouth, the way he was talking about me. So I got mad.
All right, and so what's the status of the trust now?
It's out of his name. He can't touch it. It's in somebody else's name.
All right, okay. All right, good luck.
All right,
Head
thanks.
right down there. All right, so come on in here, step in here. Same question to you. How did this happen?
Well, I thought it was not the right thing to do, so I figured what I did was the right thing to do.
What wasn't the right thing to do?
Not get any money out of that trust.
Why didn't you think he was entitled to?
Well, he wanted the money to go on vacation. You know, he did. I didn't see any bills for his sister because I would have wrote checks out for the bills.
And so you're taking off the trust, and who's looking over it now?
I don't believe I'm off the trust right now.
Oh, you want to stay on there?
No.
Harvey?
I got to tell you, these people are right. Go to a bank. Don't use a friend. Banks are dispassionate. There's no emotion involved. They generally are there to make the best financial decision that they can possibly make.